Hey, good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Alex Phan here with Keller Williams, and I'm sitting with my great friend Bill Murray with JB Design Properties. And we just signed off on the closing statements for his first flip investment here in Oregon. Bill's actually originally from North Carolina, and as part of our general Friday live Q&A, we're gonna step it up and do live interviews today. So this is gonna be a live interview. We're recording, and this is actually our very first 360 video I've ever hosted and done before too. So if you want, it's not too exciting of a space, but you can scroll around. We're inside of the lawyer's title office here in Lake Oswego. You can see some people walking behind us. So pan around on your screen, you can see that we're live in 360. Anyways, we're going to ask Bill a few questions about his first investment here. He did buy a property with our team and flipped it, for less of a better word. But we'll talk about his experience through that. And today, again, we're at the closing table. So, Bill, welcome to Lawyer's Title, and congratulations on your signing today. How are you feeling?
It's a good day. Anytime you can close, it's a good day.
Yeah, exactly. The cash is not in the money in the bank yet, but that day will come very
soon,
shortly. Very shortly. You know when you're at this point, it's good. So, Bill, tell us, why did you want to flip a property, I guess?
Well, I've been in the home building business for 35 plus years and semi-retired, and quite frankly needed to still earn some income, and I didn't want a 40 or 50 or 60 hour a week job. Being familiar with the building process, I thought I'd try my hand at remodeling and flipping properties.
Even in a city that you had no experience in, you
It was probably a little gutsy, but I had some good guidance, and quite frankly from you and your team, and some contractors that I kind of stumbled onto, and I certainly wasn't totally unfamiliar with the building process. I was unfamiliar with the permitting process in Portland, and I had some good guidance. Made a few mistakes, but learned from them.
Well, good. Well, we'll certainly ask you what those mistakes were then. So how long did the process take in its entirety from the date that we, acquired a property and then to today on closing? How long did this process take you?
Acquiring the property, and these are rough dates, was early January, and I think I owned it by late January. So that closing was 2-3 weeks. Once the property was in my name, I got right to work. Actually put the cart ahead of the horse a little bit, did some work before I had permits, which isn't totally cricket, but I was careful to not be doing work that needed it to be permitted.
Good.
Hired a designer and somebody to get the permits for me because I was totally unaware with the process in the city. And I had all of my permits in hand originally by mid-February, and then I got into a situation where I literally had to tear down part of the house, which I wasn't planning on, which required new construction permits. And that process delayed me probably 4 to 5 weeks.
Wow. Now, do you mind telling us how, obviously some investors want to know, well, how do I get into it? I don't have all the money myself, or I've got some money, but to acquire property, to do the renovations takes sometimes a lot of money. Do you mind sharing what type of financing you obtained on the property?
No, not at all. I obtained what's referred to as hard money through a lender in actually Washington State, which I believe they were given to me by your company. It was a relatively easy process, relatively seamless. I have very good credit. I had enough cash in the bank that they were comfortable with it, and that whole loan process of getting the hard money was probably less than a week. It was relatively seamless. They were good to work with, and I only borrowed to purchase the property. I used my own funds for the actual renovation. You can do both. It's not cheap money by any stretch, so my thought was the more of my money I can use, obviously the better off for me. I'm saving a fair amount of interest charges. So I borrowed to acquire the property. Those anywhere from 10 to 20% down is typical. And I'm not speaking for them, but I would assume that really is contingent on your credit worthiness, how much money you have in the bank, and the projected margin in what you're paying, what you're going to put in it, and what you project to sell it for. They all go into, the terms of your agreement on the hard money.
Could you give our audience a perspective? Remind us all, what did you purchase the property for?
127.
And what are we closing at on Tuesday?
Actually, 327.
Look at that. Hopefully he had some really good margins in between there. So give the audience just a brief rundown of the types. You talked about some new construction addition to the property, but what types of improvements did you do to the home to get that value?
Well, it was a 1923 property, and of course a lot of those in Portland, but this particular property basically had zero improvements. Put a new roof on it. Structurally had to do some repairs in the roof, cavity itself, old 2x4 rafter system that was very weak and split, etc., etc. So we spent a lot of money inside the roof that you didn't see. Put a whole new electrical system in, a whole new plumbing system, new furnace, HVAC. Those were the major. The exterior was in very good shape. It was actually concrete. It wasn't stucco. It was a concrete exterior. So all we had to do basically to that was paint. Put new windows in. Didn't do too much interior to the original structure. Took a few walls out, but not too much there. Re-drywalled, skim coated everything, repainted, redid the hardwood floors. Redid the kitchen, total remodel there, took all the old cabinetry out, and that's where we took a little bit of a wall out to make it more open. New cabinets, granite countertops, new appliances. I put in a gas range, microwave, and a dishwasher. Did not go with the basic appliances, upgraded them just a little bit, which I think we pretty much did throughout the house. It wasn't my intent to have a basic flip.
Yeah.
A lot of people that flip go in what I call lipstick.
Right.
Dress up the aesthetics. We did quite a bit more than that. The addition itself, after we tore down approximately a third of the structure, I obviously had to get into new footer foundation from the sill plate up, walls, insulation, windows, roof, etc.
You guys can see that Bill paid a lot of attention and detail in this property. If you walk through it, it was absolutely stunning, and you would have not known that it was a flip, because like you said, most of the times you see flips around, they are very lipstick cosmetic, and we're really proud that Bill did a great job, and the buyers are extremely happy and in love with this home. So Bill, what advice would you give to other people out there who are thinking like they might want to do something like this? I mean, what kind of, you mentioned some mistakes that you had made. Looking back now, what would you have done differently, or moving forward, be more cautious about?
Well, on the advice side, I mean, there are basically probably three issues. One is what you pay, but backing into okay, you look at the property and projecting what can I get for this property, which is where people like yourself and your team come in with comps, and projecting a realistic projected after remodel sale price. Once you have that, then you back into, okay, if I put X dollars in improvements with the margin that I want, then this is what I can pay for the property, and that's a pretty simple process, really. But in terms of mistakes, the reason I had to tear down part of it, it's a little bit hard to envision, but there was a very, very minimal crawl space on a third of the house, and what it amounted to was they had originally enclosed a porch. So there was lack of a proper foundation. There was an old post and beam. I couldn't get under there to see that. In hindsight, had I just taken a piece of subfloor up which I didn't own the property, so I didn't feel good doing that. I would have just said, hey, I need to take a piece of the subfloor up. If you want me to do it, fine. If not, I'm not interested. Hindsight's always 20/20. I would have seen that, whoa, this foundation, I mean, it was just shot. There wasn't literally any, it was an old post and beam, so it was all wood. And you can imagine since 1923, it was literally powder. So in hindsight, more of a proper inspection of the property. And I did take a contractor out, as much as experience that I've had. I'm not familiar with certain things like dry rot and carpenter ants, etc., because in North Carolina we didn't have much of that. In this environment, it's much more prevalent. And being a rookie, I wasn't prepared for that. Fortunately, because I did buy the property right, I was able to recoup those expenses, but what it did to me was drag out the process into 5.5 months that I was originally projecting 90 days. So the biggest mistake was not the proper inspection in determining that I had to tear down that part of the property.
Thank you for sharing that. And I mean, look at this. Bill came. He wasn't from Oregon. He found us, just so you guys know, online. He did some research and found us, connected with us, and again, we made the referrals and got to work in helping him identify properties that could be great potential investments. And we're really proud that we got the opportunity to work with Bill, and excited to announce we're working on project number 2 right now too. So congratulations. Thank you again for the opportunity in working with us. Hope you guys enjoyed this first live interview that we've held, and we'll continue doing more of these videos moving forward. So if you guys have specific questions about flipping, investing, renting, any of that, please comment below. Be sure to follow and like our business page to watch more of these videos. They're always saved on our business page. And Phan Property Group just wants to do a great job for you. Thank you very much.